Hi, I'm William Malik with a bit of security for December 17th, 2025. We're talking about how to strengthen your culture of cybersecurity awareness. What makes an organization resilient to a cyber attack? Well, a colleague of mine at the Society for Information Management has a mantra, and he says it's people, process, technology in that order, don't screw it up. So we're going to talk about the people side of things. A healthy organization is built on trust, and trust requires open and honest communication. So, how do you make that happen? It starts with tone at the top. If your senior leadership team encourages open dialogue, the rest of the team will step up and do so as well. From a perspective of social psychology, about 3% of the general population is likely to do something unconventional, break a social norm, commit a crime. So we count on the fact that most people, most of the time, will, by their own nature, do the right thing. What we want to do is model the behavior that will help those folks who might be on the fence or aren't quite sure to do the right things. We want to help your staff to become more likely to report a problem, more willing to question and obscure requests, to think a little bit about the possible motivations behind somebody's odd behavior. Not a culture of suspicion, but a culture of open questioning and awareness and mutual respect. So making that part of the daily routine of your leadership, asking how are things going, and then actually listening to the response as opposed to saying, how are things going? I got to go by. Or looking up from your phone, how you feeling? And then going back to the phone makes a big difference. At the first decade of the Gartner Information Security Conference, one of my keynotes was Bob West. He at that time was the CISO for Fifth Third Bank, and he talked about how he created a core of local security administrators. Like many CIOs at the time, he did not have a large budget, did not have the luxury of a large staff, and so he recruited folks. In his case, he looked for local administrative personnel and said, after vetting them, would they like to become a local security administrator? The upside was every month or two they would have a meeting at a restaurant. So they'd get a luncheon on company's tab. They'd have a guest speaker who would talk about some interesting aspect of information security, either a new feature or a recent event, something that made stuff relevant. And these people got a badge that said, "Hi, I'm your local security administrator." Their enthusiasm and esprit de corps was infectious, and everybody was happy to see these folks stepping up and doing a little bit more than they thought they would out of their day-to-day life. It was really a nice way to boost that security culture. What else can we do? Well, in the intelligence community, they have an acronym that explains why somebody would likely turn against their organization. It's MICE. It stands for money, ideology, coercion, or ego. Why does somebody turn back? How did Hansen happen at the FBI, for instance? Well, there was money. Um, at the MI6, it was an ideological dispute. Certainly, ego can play a part, and if you're being blackmailed, if you're being bribed, you can be coerced into doing things that would be bad. Now, we're not trying to develop people as super spies. Just use your own ability to perceive, to understand, to think about why individuals behave the way they think about. And it's good to have a baseline for comparison. So the best way I've found to establish that baseline, to get to know your team, is to ask questions. How are you feeling today? And listen to the answer. How's work going? Are things okay at home? What do you like about the job? What do you not like? What do you think we could do better? You may get valuable information. And when you get a reciprocal question from a member of your team, take the time to respond. Think about your answer. Maybe follow them and say, was that helpful? What issue are you wrangling with? Building up that two-way communication is so important to making folks feel trusted and, and belonging, part of a thing, showing an active interest in what's going on in your folks' life. How do you know your team? How do they know you? How do you build a healthy and open dialogue? Every day doesn't start off with us singing hi ho, it's off to work we go. But you, as an information security leader, and you wouldn't be listening to this if you weren't an information security leader, can make things better and safer and more secure. And that's our bit of security for December 17th, 2025. I'm William Malik. Be safe.